Hey guys, I know it's late for people back in the States. I got on a little bit later today, so I'm gonna make this quick. But just real briefly wanted to talk about some of the exchange volume that I was seeing. It's kind of been something I've been interested in lately. This was an article that just came out, and I'll put this in the description below, but it's talking about how some of the top exchanges are being faked. So I'll kind of show this to you guys here. Basically, okay, they've got this Blockchain Transparency Institute. Never even heard of this, but basically they're doing some sort of research on the top 130 cryptocurrency trading exchanges, and what they're claiming is that every 24-hour period, there's 6 billion worth digital assets volumes that are faked. And so they kind of have this chart. And so according to them, one of the things you're looking at is the differential here. So this differential of Houbi, differential of OKex, which has been like the second biggest exchange lately, which is kind of interesting to see that they have actually the highest differential percentage. Another one here, Upbit, so a Korean exchange that's trying to compete with Bitmix. So let's zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see these numbers. Some of the ratios here are interesting to take note of as well. I like taking a look at some of the unique visitors that are in some of these different exchanges and whatnot. So interesting stuff. So there's a few different metrics that they're looking at. So I guess they came down pretty hard on like LBank and ZB exchanges, which were claiming to be in the top 10 not too long ago. I remember seeing that. And so they're basically, some of the information that they have, with unique visitors combining for, roughly this dollar figure per day, while, the average with these three, well-known is, much lower. So, interesting to say, they also have a little bit of a picture here with Bitforex, Bitmix, and showing some of the volumes in trading compared to some of these other exchanges, and how they're reporting the data a little bit. So they don't talk too much about Bitmix or Bitforex, but I thought that was an interesting article. And so yesterday also I was attended a local meetup. For LAToken, so it's an exchange. I'll show this to you guys here. They've been doing about 12 million in trading, at least in the last 24 hours. They're a pretty sizable exchange. They are anywhere between like the 60th to the 40th exchange overall. They are using their LAToken. You can see some of the larger pairs being traded. So PundiX, Salt, Hot. So a lot of newer projects. The CEO, he is Russian, and the biggest office for this exchange is in Russia. There's about 70 people there. They've got some offices in a few other countries, and it was kind of interesting to meet. Like, I didn't really take any video. I was thinking about doing some video there, or maybe going live, but it wasn't really a good time because it's the middle of the night for everyone in the U.S. Yeah, it was interesting to see, they are kind of bringing together some different people in the Vietnamese community, and then trying to understand the Vietnamese community a little bit more. If you look on, this is Google Analytics, searching for LAToken, and you can see there's been some different interest at different times. Again, this is primarily Russian, so there's a lot of interest here, but there's a really, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but here on this map, the big one highlighted right now is Vietnam. You can see that, over here, just recently as we had this event. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Coming back and looking at, they have a lot of different pairs that they're trading. So this is a decent sized exchange with quite a bit of opportunity to get in to some different projects. There's some interesting information if you come here. This is their Zendesk is kind of how they have their help set up. So talk a little bit more about this, and yeah, it was kind of interesting. So I met some interesting crypto folks there working on some different projects, and actually met some people locally here. So I met a guy that is working on an interesting will-based project. So basically, like when you pass away, you know, basically transferring ownership of some of that information to your beneficiaries. I thought that was really interesting because we don't really have that, you know, quite nailed down. And I think once you kind of get the element of maybe transferring like cryptocurrency wealth onto your, you know, onto your family, that that may provide some structure, some necessary structure for how that's going to essentially be recognized and regulated in other countries. And I think that that has an interesting element to kind of lay the foundations for regulatory framework that's actually going to, you know, work. I mean, they've been working in a lot of different areas right now, kind of focusing on, you know, a lot of activity that's in these centralized exchanges. So they tend to be working a little bit more hand in hand with some of these companies. So, you know, but there's different developments that kind of, you know, essentially go around that. And like, so there's kind of two different dynamics there. So that was kind of an interesting element. Like I was brought up on a panel to speak in front of like the audience there, and they were just asking me some questions, and I was just kind of, you know, giving some of my thoughts. But it was a good crowd, good event. I think it was well done, well put on. So it's a little bit different than like a blockchain event. Like the blockchain events can be, sometimes it's like just a shill fest for different ICOs. So I'm checking my chat a little bit. Trading TRX there sucks. Why? I'm curious as to why you don't like it, since you have a little bit of experience. Nova Chain, no, haven't looked. I want to maybe throw a little bit into Nova Chain. Like that might be an interesting one to get into. I've seen some people talking about it, but I don't know if I put a whole lot in right now until I know more about it. But maybe I'll throw $1,000 in it. RecSpot is out tomorrow. I think an interesting one I was looking at is Bitcoin Cash. So apparently there's like a Bitcoin Cash hard fork coming up. I'm gonna look this up. Yeah, so it's starting to come out. So this is an article in Cointelegraph talking about a little bit of this. When I was searching, there was actually quite a few mentions of it. So I don't know enough about this. It gets a little bit more in the technical realm. So I'll put this article in the description below as well, so you guys can take a look. But I think that that might be an interesting one to get into with the ramp up until that actually happens. If the hard fork is, I don't know when its date is here. Yeah, I don't really have a date on here, but I would imagine this would happen pretty soon. Roy Murphy swings on Craig Wright's nuts. Yeah. I like hearing what he's got to say. I like, you know, I try to look past some of that type of, like, you know, Satoshi drama, but he's definitely a smart guy. So, but yeah, those are kind of some of the main things I'm kind of looking at. Been trading a little bit on Bitmix, and I had some shorts in place. Did not do too well. Pumping at over 7,000 now. So I got away from it. I'm gonna get back in. Like, I'm kind of getting in and out of it. I'm still kind of learning, but I was doing good for a while, but it looks like I'm about to get liquidated. So we'll see how that goes. I'll show you guys some of my other accounts here. This is Zephyr. So Zephyr, 72 bucks, quarter ETH. I got some Linea. I've got 56 bucks, so 0.2 ETH. So I'm looking into some other ones that I want to, maybe kind of get spread out a little bit in, throwing a little bit into those projects. Let's take a look at DApp Radar real quick. I mean, I know that the FOMO project is kind of died off a little bit, or at least it's died down. It's still real high on the list, but it's kind of been holding that 4th position. So I've got some keys in this one, but not nearly as much as I had in the last round. So we'll see how that goes, but the activity's really kind of died off, and I guess you can kind of see that a little bit by this chart. But there's bots running, so it'll be interesting to see how long this one runs for, if it surpasses the first round. I think if it surpasses the first round, it may have the potential to really outpace the last contract, because there's not as much ETH in the contract as there was in the previous round. So, but it'll build up over time. But Proof of Weekends continuing to slide down a little bit. So again, like I'm kind of looking at this as heading towards 40,000. So I'm staying out for now. You can see again, kind of the curve here, this kind of adoption curve. So when I hear a little bit more of something coming out of this project, I might get back in. But yeah, I don't know. Zephyr down a little bit, but I think like you're starting to get down into somewhere you only have like a few hundred users or whatnot. So like the market as a whole and the decentralized app the decentralized app space is just a little bit down in terms of its user base right now. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. At least all I'm looking at today. So I'm tearing apart my office, and I'm kind of working on that. I'll show you guys a little bit around, kind of where I'm at here in Vietnam. Interesting bridge. They just built that thing, and you can see the park, like one of the bigger parks right across the street. And they got the soccer field out here. That's the one I go and run on. I like that spot. I was considering doing a live stream of me doing my sprinting workout, so I'll probably do something like that in one of my next streams. All right, guys, appreciate y'all staying online. Catch you on the next one.